If you have not been seeing progress on your fitness journey and you're thinking of changing the exercises that you are doing in the gym, I need you to stop right there. The reason why you're not seeing progress isn't necessarily about the exercises that you are doing. It is about these two fundamental things. Yes, your exercises do have a significant impact on your fitness journey. It also determines if you will build muscle or actually not build muscle, because the exercise that you do determine which muscle becomes stronger. But that alone isn't why you are not building muscle. So the first reason why you might not be building muscle is because you are focusing on only increasing your weight. That is a mistake that I used to make so much in the beginning. And that's why I wasted basically 2 years of my lifting journey, because I was only concerned about doing more weight. And I wasn't concerned of actually performing the exercise correctly and progressively overloading the correct way. So you first have to focus on doing the exercise correctly. A lot of us want to ego lift because we want to boost our ego. We want to actually show off to other people, oh, I can bench 50 kg, I can bench 70 kg, I can bench 100 kg. But if your form is trash, why does that matter? So you have to first focus on performing your form correctly. And then secondly, accompanied with that form is progressive overload. I've mentioned this a lot in my previous videos, but I can't emphasize it enough because I still see on social media that not a lot of people are talking about it, and you might not even realize how important this framework that I'm about to explain is. So the framework that I use, and it has helped me make so much progress in this last year, is first focusing on increasing the reps that you do before increasing your weight. So what I do is my rep range is between 6 reps and 10 reps. So the first week, Monday and Wednesday, I focus on doing the correct form for that exercise, and I do it for 6 reps. If I can do it for more than 6 reps with correct form, the weight is too light. I have to be at least like 2 or 1 rep in reserve or go to failure for that 6 reps. And if you are not experiencing that, you need to up the weight. You have to focus on putting your muscles under tension. So on Monday and Wednesday, I do 6 reps for that exercise. And then on the Friday, I try to increase the amount of reps I do for that exercise by 1 or 2 reps. And if I can do that, on the following Monday, I do all my sets on that rep range, 7 or 8 reps. And I repeat that cycle until I get to 10 reps. And once I get to 10 reps with the proper form, actually doing the exercise correctly, that's when I increase the weight by 2.5 or 5 kg. It's that simple. That's why that framework has helped me take my bench press, which was 25 kg this year, and now I can bench press 45, or if you include the bar, I can bench press 65 kg. And now the second and probably the most important thing on your fitness journey is your diet. Last year in October, I made it my goal to actually gain 10 kgs. And I did achieve that goal only because I went hard in the gym and I focused on my diet. And the reason why I know that the diet was the most important thing is because about 2 months ago, or I think a month ago, I stopped focusing on my diet. I was still going hard in the gym, but I stopped focusing on my diet. And what do you think happened? I lost weight because I simply wasn't eating enough calories and enough protein to support the amount of work that I was doing. And my strength paid the toll for that. My bench press weight actually went down. Right now, it's going up again because I'm focusing on my diet again. But when I didn't focus on my diet, my strength went down and I lost some muscle. So diet is by far the most important thing on your fitness journey. And if you don't dial in your diet, you won't make progress if you are not a beginner. If you're a beginner, you won't make progress simply because your body isn't used to working out. So your body builds muscle regardless of if your diet is dialed in or anything. But after your first year and you don't focus on your diet, you won't see progress, any progress. And that's why I was stuck at the same weight for 2 years because I didn't focus on my diet for those 2 years. So if your goal is to gain weight and build muscle, you have to eat in a calorie surplus. A calorie surplus is basically eating more calories than your body burns. So if your body burns 2,500 calories, you should aim to eat in a 250 or 500 calorie surplus. So that is 250 or 500 calories more than your maintenance calories. And with that surplus, you also have to make sure that you eat enough protein. If you don't eat enough protein, you won't build muscle because your body, your muscles are made out of protein. So if you don't give your body protein, how can you expect it to build muscle? So you have to eat enough protein as well with that calorie surplus. So enough protein is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you are 150 pounds, you have to eat 150 grams of protein every single day. And now, if your goal is to lose weight, you have to eat in a calorie deficit. So that means you have to eat either 250 or 500 calories less than your maintenance, depending on how fast you want to lose weight. But with that calorie deficit, you also have to eat enough protein. Otherwise, you will lose a lot of muscle mass on your calorie deficit. So you also have to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So like I said, if you're 150 pounds, 170 pounds, 200 pounds, you have to eat the same amount of protein in grams for your body weight. So you don't need to switch up your exercises if you are not seeing progress. Yes, exercises do matter and it does determine which muscles actually start to grow. But that isn't necessarily the deciding factor of why you are not making progress in the gym. You first need to make sure that you are going hard in the gym, actually doing the workout correctly, actually implementing progressive overload, and your diet is on point. If those two things are dialed in and you're not making progress or you're not building the physique that you want, then maybe you can start looking at the exercise that you are doing. But if those two things aren't dialed in, it's not time to switch up your exercise. I hope you learned something in this video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And remember, you become the person you want to be by pushing through the times you want to quit.